What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Don't Be Ugly podcast. I'm your host, Caroline Ricky, and I'm here with my co-host, Brother. We're just going to call him that.
Yeah, we really hope you're not ugly by now. We hope our treatment has been helping, but if it hasn't, then tune in because you will not be sorry.
Yeah, actually, I want to start off this episode by trying to relate to you guys for a little bit because I actually just got a rhinoplasty and I love the zoo, so...
Have you ever thought about getting a hippoplasty? Or an elephant-plasty?
Like a hippoplasty, in my hips? Oh my God, wait, no, that's what Kim Kardashian has.
She has a hippoplasty? I just never understood why it's called rhinoplasty.
No.
Oh, wait, because rhinos have horns and your nose is kind of like a horn.
No.
Is that not why?
I don't know why they call it a rhinoplasty. It literally doesn't make sense. But there are people like Kim Kardashian. She probably does have hippoplasties because that's how she creates her hourglass. She has implants on her hips.
Her hip?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Why is a butt implant called a butt implant? Why doesn't it have its own name?
Animal?
Yeah.
I would say it should be called
the donkey.
A donkey. Oh yeah, because a donkey is known as a
butt. Isn't it a butt or something?
Yeah, it's known as the word.
Okay.
But remember when we realized that a
Donkey-plasty.
ponytail was called a ponytail
because it's a pony's tail.
because it looks like a pony's tail.
But then I learned that people call it hair tie, but we don't do that in Ohio.
People call it a hair tie?
Yeah, you never heard that?
No.
I mean, it would make sense. It ties your hair.
So people that don't live in Ohio don't call it a ponytail.
No, I think it's just you can use either one, but I just realized that a ponytail is because you put your hair up in a pony's tail, if that made any sense, which it probably doesn't.
Well, you had ponies growing up, so I'm surprised you've never realized that before.
Well, they were kind of annoying, and we had to sell them and just get big horses because they weren't grown up enough. They couldn't take care of themselves. We had to pay someone to take care of them for us, so it was kind of upsetting.
It's weird that you had a stable growing up because you were never stable as a child. You were pretty unstable for someone who has a stable. A horse stable.
It got burnt down, so it really was unstable. My whole life was unstable.
True.
But...
Wait, remember the Saddle Club girls?
What is that noise?
I know.
Okay. First, if you guys didn't have cable, or if you did have cable, obviously we had cable, we're rich, so, there's a show on PBS called Saddle Club, and basically this is a show where girls who are rich go to this horse ranch and they ride horses together, and that's basically what my childhood was. If I had to describe my show as my life growing up, it would be the Saddle Club, and I was the main character, Veronica, whose dad was the richest, and she had the nicest horse, and she could feed the horse it's the best food, so that's why the horse won all of the races, and everyone hated her, and a lot of people hate me because they are jealous of me, and I realize that, and that's fine, and I'm okay with it, but you don't die a legend by being nice, so that's my thought.
No, that Saddle Club had very deep messages for a PBS show. A horse would die, a horse would give birth. I don't know. It was really weird, but they had a lot of life metaphors.
So does this podcast.
I think other good PBS shows would definitely be Arthur. No. That was a show that I really related to.
Yeah. The Simpsons.
You would probably.
I love
Family Guy. I always
watched
that.
My Name is Earl. I love that show. Okay, if you guys watched My Name is Earl, maybe you guys are too young, but some of my older audience, you had to tell me you've seen My Name is Earl. King of the Hill.
Okay,
that 70s show. That's what I grew up with watching. That's probably why I am the way I am.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think it's time for our next segment, right?
We haven't even finished our first segment.
What's our first segment? A line segment?
A line segment. You're too smart.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's in geometry.
Okay.
You're too smart. Yeah. Okay, so we don't have the sound effect today. If you guys can't tell, we're actually not in our podcasting van.
Can we talk about that?
You can talk about it. I'll pull up this voicemail.
So basically, if you're watching the video form of this, we have been evicted from our podcasting van.
For a short time.
Short time.
Maybe for the whole season.
Because it turns out the guy that sold us our van actually stole it from a scrapyard.
Yeah.
So
and that's why it wasn't running and it didn't have any of the parts because he sold them all.
Yeah. So the owner of the scrapyard showed up at our mansion today.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's not your car."
Yeah.
That got stolen from me from the scrapyard. I was just about to sell it for parts.
And I'm like, why did I pay $45,000 for this van because the guy who sold it to me told me it was vintage, one of a kind, and it's like a piece of art. So it was like, oh, of course I'm going to buy this. That just makes sense. I am an art connoisseur. So a lot of people actually don't know that about me. I myself am a walking piece of art. So I thought it'd just make sense to have a nice big art collection as well. So that is why we are in a different car.
We are in a different car, but we are my attorney actually is talking to the scrapyard owner, so we're hoping that we will be able to get the van back for the next episode.
Yeah, and for everyone who doesn't understand the joke on my YouTube channel, our friend Maya Turney, her name literally is Maya, and her last name is Turney. So she's not actually a lawyer. She never went to law school, but she can impersonate it really well, and they never question it.
Yeah, because like it's not illegal if your name is my attorney to call yourself my attorney.
Yeah, she didn't even take the bar. She goes to the bars every day. That's a deeper issue. But yeah, her name is my attorney. But if you guys aren't watching the video version, I kind of like this podcasting studio a little bit better because this is a one-of-a-kind 1960s Maserati. So,
Maserati? Did they make those back then? Well, clearly.
Well, clearly. We're in one right now. You probably got to get your vision checked. It's not that clear to
I
you.
thought you were going to say we were in a Ford Mustang because
that is
that's
my dream
a car.
car.
I mean, that's a horse.
Oh.
It would be weird if you got a Mustang because
you keep hitting your head on the window.
Whatever.
It's like a small car.
It's a small car.
Yeah, that's why the video version's so close to our
but
face.
you rode Mustangs as a child.
Yeah.
And now you're riding Mustangs, which is a type of horse.
And
now you're going to drive one.
Yeah, like I
crazy.
love Mustangs. Like that is actually my dream car, a baby blue 1960s Mustang convertible, similar to the one that they had on Cinderella's story, and mostly because not that I relate to her, but
who's her?
The main character. She had an evil stepmother with like annoying siblings. I don't have a stepmother. I have my mom, but I do have annoying siblings. Hence, brother over here. So
thank you.
He's a favorite. And that is why our parents are sending him to a private school. And yep. Okay. So I think it's time we move on to our next segment, which we already introduced, female. Once again, if you're new here, we would call it mail because we are getting voicemails from you guys. If you want to leave a voicemail, follow us on Instagram at Don't Be Ugly Podcast and just literally record your voice and send it to us. It's that easy. It's so simple. We have listened to 3 of them. So thank you to the other thousands of you who have done that. We will maybe get to you.
We will listen to your voicemails.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, we may pay someone to do it.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to pay someone to do it. This podcast is getting way too popular. So yeah, this voicemail is from Zayden. Thank you, Zayden.
Hey Caroline.
Hi.
I'm just a watcher of the videos and I listen to your podcast. If I have like a severe face problem, I don't know how to explain it. It's just my face is so weird looking. What do I do about that? Can you help me with tips on my personality, please? Thank you. Love you.
Well, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
The best thing, I know this whole coronavirus pandemic is horrible for our economy, for people who are at risk, everyone. But
I can't go shopping.
Right. It is good for ugly people, however, because they get to cover up their whole face
with a mask.
And
not even a face mask.
Yeah, and no one questions it.
Yeah. But for me, it just kind of it's an accessory. Obviously, it serves a good purpose, but I do wear it because it kind of brings out my features. It brings out my eyes. So I guess he probably doesn't need this question answered ASAP because if he is leaving his house, it probably he's wearing a face mask. So it doesn't even matter.
So his ugliness isn't as big
concealed.
of a threat as it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
But I will say this, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this.
Okay,
but probably not.
Yeah.
I have given...
I'm going to law school, so...
Yeah. So, my name is Philip, and people have...
No, it's brother.
It is Philip when I'm not called brother.
Yeah.
But people have confused me for Dr. Phil, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people just...
when they take your pictures and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe Dr. Phil actually had a full head of hair when he was younger.
Right. They think I'm the younger version of Dr. Phil. So, a lot of people go to me for advice, and I've had this question a lot.
Yeah.
And what I usually advise people to do would be to stop talking for a while.
Yeah, I would actually say that too. Do you want to elaborate before I give my 2 cents?
I think you should give your 2 cents first.
Okay, here's
because
2 pennies.
I'll just count it as sales tax.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely agree with where you're coming from. I think you should just stop talking and wear a mask. But obviously, once coronavirus is over, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. But just stop talking, and then people will have to like admire if they want to stick around you. They can't like talk to you. They can't have conversations. So the only way they can interact with you or admire you is by looking at your face. So that's how I think like people will come to appreciate your beauty.
Oh, I didn't mean for him to like stop talking in general. I was
Really?
just saying like stop talking about how about your flaws and start talking about your
Political views. Maybe,
No,
maybe
about-
be like a little bit more deep, so then people will take you a little bit more seriously. Maybe you just look like a clown. I would know. I did drop out of clown college, but
Carol, I'm just saying he should start talking about his like his strengths.
yeah.
But
How much
why
do you
would
bench?
Caroline, not that kind of strength.
Okay.
Why would you want him to stop talking completely? I still don't understand how that would help him.
So if you stop talking like completely, just stop interacting with people, first of all, you'll see who your true friends are because they'll have to reach out to you. Second of all, you could pick up a new language, like sign language. That's like up and coming. And it's obviously been here for a while.
Actually, fun fact, sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay. Stop, you just mansplain again. It's fine.
A lot of drivers know sign language.
Why?
Like stop sign,
Well, then I know
Yeah.
sign language.
crossing
People
sign.
told me I barely knew one language, English, but I apparently know two now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
But I think that he should just stop talking completely. So then people will have to, like, if they want to interact with them, they will have to, like, look at him and appreciate him for the way he looks.
And okay, so I've
So
never
then he won't be ugly anymore.
Right.
In their eyes.
in their eyes. You stopped talking for a while when you were little, right? I
Why?
think I remember.
When?
I don't know. For like a period of like a year or something, Caroline refused to talk.
Yeah, why?
Well,
I don't remember. I have short-term memory loss. It's probably because I fell off my horse and hit my head a couple times.
actually, that might have been the reason.
Really?
Because you remember our horse,
Nancy?
no, Bernard.
Oh, frick. Saint Bernard sits at the top of the... You guys know that song?
No, but we had a horse named Bernard, and
Bernie. Not the guy that was running for
not
president.
the president.
But he did like sand.
Yeah. But
Favorite snack of choice.
if you guys don't
and
know,
place to poop.
what are you talking about?
I keep going.
Okay, maybe you should stop talking
Okay.
now.
This is...
But Bernard was like our finest groomed horse. All the stable workers loved him, and he actually won a few races.
Yeah, I think you're talking
And-
about me. You just completely described me perfectly. I won a lot of cross-country races. People love me, and I'm the favorite.
Yeah. So that's actually why you grew so close to Bernard, because you saw yourself in him.
Yeah.
And remember that one time we
Rip
brought
Bernie.
Bernard. He was a racehorse. We brought
Yeah.
him to the Indy 500.
Yeah.
And he was
Which is
gonna-
like
yeah.
if you guys don't know what that is, my family's been going there. We have a private booth. There, it's just like a place where you watch like NASCAR, like races.
No, it's for horses. The Indy 500.
No, is it really?
Yeah.
No, I thought that was for like go-karts and stuff.
No, the Indy 500's
Wait.
for horse.
Dad always asked me if I wanted to go with them because they were staying with like the governor of our state and watching it. But I was like, no, that's stupid. I'm not gonna watch like men drive cars. Like if I wanted to do that,
It's horses.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, if I wanted to watch men drive cars, I would just watch James Corden and his guests on his show where they sing in the car. I'm like, that is
Right.
more entertaining. But it's with horses?
Yeah, it's called the Indy 500 because there's
There's
500 horses.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I just made that up.
No, that's why.
Why is it called indie?
Because do you know like indie music?
Yeah.
It's very like it's very non-mainstream, like
Okay.
indie music.
So a lot of people don't go
Yeah.
and watch it?
So a lot of people don't go.
But then how do they make so much money? Why do they have 500 horses if no one's there?
Well, they have a lot of donators,
Okay.
right?
Is Dad one of them?
He's like, I forget.
I'm a donator. I would donate my organs if I pass away.
Okay, you want a cookie? Like, cool, good for you.
I just wanted to show people how, like, pro tip, if you can, like, always just tell people how generous you are, just do it. Because then people will, like, appreciate you more.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just think that you're so loving and caring. Like, you don't even, not even through the actions you do, but just through the way that you brag about yourself is what people
Right.
will remember you by. So we're going to take a quick ad break thanks to Function of Beauty.
We don't all have the same hair. So why should we use the same shampoo and conditioner?
I don't know. Why?
I don't know, let me tell you. Now you don't have to with Function of Beauty.
Function of Beauty. I love Function of Beauty. I've actually been using Function of Beauty shampoo and conditioner on my hair because they make personalized, specialized shampoos and conditioners, hair oils, hair serums, and hair masks for my hair.
Pretty
and
much
it's so
everything.
soft.
No, okay. So a lot of times, I don't tell you this, but I actually steal your shampoo.
Do you?
Because it feels really good.
It has my
and
name on it, though.
it
They
has-
personalized it
yeah.
for me.
They personalize each bottle, which is really cool. And I kind of steal yours sometimes because it smells really good.
Do people
gotta
like
say.
it? Do they tell you your hair smells
I mean,
nice?
all the time.
Really? I have personally the green shampoo and the white conditioner because it like looks really good together. And it makes my hair like really like luxurious and soft.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But also, if you guys didn't know this, if you don't believe us, Function of Beauty is the internet's top-rated customized hair care brand.
Top rated? How many reviews?
30,000.
30,000?
5-star reviews.
5-star?
Yeah.
That's so much.
That's more stars than there are in the universe.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so what code can they use?
Okay, so to get started right now, go to functionofbeauty.com/don'tbeugly.
That's functionofbeauty.com/don'tbeugly.
Thank you. To take your 4-part hair profile quiz and save 20% on your first order.
20%?
That's only 80%
That's more than
on.
19%.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But yeah, if you didn't know, you can take a personalized hair care quiz to get personalized shampoo bottles
Yes, and conditioner bottles, obviously.
and conditioner.
So do it.
Do it now. Speaking of generous, Ellen DeGenerous.
Ellen DeGenerous.
It's Ellen DeGenerous.
Ellen DeGenerate.
Is it?
No, I don't even know if that's her real name. Like, whose last name is DeGenerous?
I don't know.
Degenerate.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
roasting her
Also,
big.
I was going to make fun of her first name, but I don't want to offend some of our viewers or listeners, so we're just going to avoid that joke. Anyway, speaking of Ellen, where did this come from? Please explicar, por favor.
The Spanish you just pulled out there was incredible.
So good. It was so, like, out of nowhere. It's my magician in me.
I don't even know where I was going with Ellen. I just know she's in a lot of hot water recently.
Why? Is she like being boiled alive?
I think she has a hot tub actually.
Is
her
she in
mansion.
Iceland?
No.
Oh, I love the lagoons there. I went there once.
The hot
sorry.
springs?
Yeah.
You've never been there.
Yeah, I have. Okay, so explain
There,
your stance on Ellen. Sorry, I keep moving my feet around. We're a little bit crammed back here in our Maserati.
Right. They used to build cars really small.
Yeah, because like 10 years, how old is this car? 80 years ago, people just, they didn't grow as tall.
Right.
Yeah, we've evolved.
Right. So Ellen DeGenerous, people have been mad at her recently. A big part of that is because of the jokes she makes on her show, and a lot of people think that she makes her guests uncomfortable.
I heard it was because like she doesn't pay her writers enough or something.
I think it's for a lot of things.
She's like mean.
I heard that her wife, Portia.
Well, if it's from that Shallon Lester lady, don't repeat it. Because
know.
if you guys know that Shallon Lester lady, not to cause drama, but like she's been in a lot of hot water. She's one of those like publicist people who like report on drama, but her sources are like other YouTubers. So it's like you're really not even like, she doesn't really know what she's talking about. So if you heard it from her, just disregard it.
Okay.
But I've heard that like when her writers were trying to go like not on strike, but I guess they were going on strike for the writers
play
thing.
baseball?
Yeah. I'm like, if you striked out,
No,
then
wait.
clearly you're not good at your job.
Is strike in baseball or in bowling? I can't remember.
Strike out. That's baseball.
What is it called when you like knock down all the pins in a bowling game?
That's like a turkey or something.
Like the country or the food?
See, when
Why
I
are
was
you blushing?
because when I went to Turkey, it was like a beautiful country. I just love that place.
Okay,
I would
well-
never eat the animal though. I'm a vegan.
Anyway, I want to hear about these writers.
Okay.
Not to be confused with lefters.
So thank you for being inclusive. I appreciate that. Sorry if I'm
welcome.
jingling. I'm like taking off my like 17 diamond
You,
carat
you
rings.
sound like Jingle Bells.
I love that movie. Or a song, sorry. So basically, her writers went on strike, and then she tried to like, said she was gonna fire her main head writer if she went on strike too. But like, you go on strike because you're like advocating for your employees or whatever. But she was just being mean. And she just like said she was gonna fire them for like basically standing up for themselves. And when she has guests, like I think Nikki Tutorials, she's like a big YouTuber, a big beauty guru. She was on Ellen, and she said she didn't get treated as well because she wasn't like a celebrity. Yet her video on YouTube got not like she wasn't a mainstream celebrity. She wasn't like the Jonas Brothers.
But a lot of people know who she is.
Yeah, so her video got like 3 or 4 times more views than the Jonas Brothers, but the Jonas Brothers were treated way better, and they had access to a bathroom while they were at her
She didn't even have access to a bathroom?
Yeah, basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No. Well, there's that about how she treats her guests, and a lot of people think that her jokes some of them are offensive.
To what extent? Like the one time she put that hidden camera at this table full of free stuff, and they recorded people taking more than one item, which obviously, I mean, you shouldn't do, but like you're saying, hey, here's free stuff, and Ellen and the Ellen Show has a huge budget, so everyone got a free item. What's her if you take another one, which I guess is considered stealing, but
yeah.
And then she blasted him on the show, like played that recording and said like these women stole. I think that's too far.
Like I would be scared to go on like the Ellen Show or whatever. Not that I'd ever get invited. What would you get on there for? No, I mean like in the audience.
Oh, the geology bee I was in 4th grade. What kind of rock is this? Metamorphosis.
Stop making fun of me.
It's okay.
Last time you made fun of me, freaking my self-esteem went down the drain.
You had.
That's why the plumber had to come because it got clogged.
Oh, that's why the plumber was here. He's cute. Anyway, you were saying
but like
Ellen.
I would never want to be in the audience because I'd always be scared to be called out, and like that's kind of. But there's also a line I have to draw because like as an influencer, I feel like
you're an influencer.
No,
I guess you kind of are.
I'm an influencer to an influencer.
Yeah.
I'm an influence to Caroline, so that also makes
influence me.
That makes me an influencer by
choice,
proxy.
Yeah. I love that glue.
What?
Isn't that proxy glue? Isn't that like a kind of glue or something?
Maying. I think you use that on your
epoxy.
Epoxy glue.
Okay. I use that as on my eyelashes.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have any anymore. I ripped them out because they got stuck.
But like as an influencer, I feel like, well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like making jokes now is a lot riskier than it used to be.
Yeah, well, I think humor even like 14 years ago is so much different than humor now. Like 10 years ago, you see it in TV shows, stuff would fly so easily. But I think obviously we're in more of like a social like awareness kind of era in our society, and more people are more woke. Like they're careful about what they say and they don't want to offend people, which I think is good to a certain extent. Like you don't want to hurt other people. Like obviously we don't want to cause harm, but there's like a line, I guess, when you're even a comedian where it's like you have to push that line and that's where it's funny. But then once you cross the line, it's like it's over for you. Like you get canceled. But in my opinion, like, I mean, I guess we are a comedy channel and we do like sarcastic stuff, but we try to stay on the safe side. But there's a point. I'm not saying you should like make jokes to offend people. Like obviously that's not the point. But a lot of your jokes can be taken out of context. But a lot of your viewers, if you keep making the same jokes and don't evolve or push the boundary, then they're like, oh, she's boring, she's not changing. Like Lily Singh, she did the same characters, she did the same feminist comedy, which is good to a certain extent, but then it gets boring. But then it's like, if you push the line, then it's like, oh, you went too far, you're canceled. But there's like two sides and there's no in between. And
like, you know who Colleen Ballinger is, right? Do you know who
Are you asking them?
Well, I'll ask you because they can't respond.
I know who she is. She's
also known as Miranda Sings.
Hey guys, it's me, Miranda Sings. Oh my god, that came out so good.
That was a good impression.
Dude, I want to rewatch that clip of me doing my face. Dude,
true.
I pulled that out of pocket. That was good.
If you weren't
by the way, that was her impression that she does.
If you weren't so bad at painting, I'd say you should be an impressionist.
But like I already leave impressions when I like sit on chairs and stuff.
That's a different.
Okay.
That's a different problem.
Okay.
But Miranda Sings, and I guess we'll talk about cancel culture now.
Okay.
But Miranda Sings was recently canceled, and I don't really have a side to this story. I'm just gonna tell you what I think.
Okay. Unless there's explicit, I think there is explicit stuff, sorry to interrupt, explicit stuff that you can cancel someone for. Like, I'm not on either side either, because I don't think you can necessarily say, like, take a specific side, because both sides have wrongs to them, and both sides have, stuff you're not hearing. Like, even behind the scenes, I hear of stuff, and I'm like, oh, well, that wasn't made public. Like, you can't really make a decision if you don't know those people or if you weren't in that situation yourself. So I think that, like, in a way, it's kind of hard to, like, make assumptions if you weren't there to witness it.
And, like, the whole Miranda Sings thing, if they don't know, is basically Miranda, she kind of formed a relationship with, like, maybe like 13 or 14-year-old boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is confusing. So if you guys don't know who she is, Colleen Ballinger plays a character on YouTube. Her name is Miranda Sings. She's like crazy. She's a comedian. She goes on tour. People love her. And then she also has a separate channel where she makes videos as herself. So she's Colleen, but then she also plays a character of Miranda. Anyway, to clarify.
Thank you. So Colleen / Miranda formed like a relationship with one of her fans who was like a 13-year-old at the time. 13-year-old at the time. And there was basically like a falling out between them. And a lot of people accused Miranda of like taking advantage of this kid. Colleen. Of taking advantage of this kid. I won't get into all the details. But
you can watch a drama channel for that. We are not a drama channel. We are dramatic.
We are dramatic.
Because we do put on a performance.
But like the kid made like a video on YouTube and exposed Miranda or Colleen for it, and all the T drama channels picked it up. Which is the T drama channels on YouTube, if you don't know, are pretty much the channels that report on all the gossip
on like social media influencers.
Pretty much TMZ. Low budget TMZ. But pretty much the whole internet canceled Colleen for this, and then she came back and made an apology video. And I watched the apology video, and I have to say it was pretty good.
You think it was good?
I think it was good.
I think she hit a lot of points and owned up to it, because a lot of people don't necessarily own up when they make apology videos, and they just kind of like make excuses for it. I think she owned up well, but I don't want to say like...
I'm not saying I'm on anyone's side. I'm just saying that as far as apology videos go, that was really good.
She's also like 34, so I think she carried herself well, given the situation. Like, but I also think, she basically sent underwear to this kid because she was on live stream on Instagram, like saying, she like gives away random clothes that she doesn't wear anymore to her fans. And this one kid like wanted the underwear, and he was like, I want it, like I think it's so funny, blah blah blah. His parents got the package, and then they were like, why would you send this to my son? That's so weird. So he showed it off. But like there was also live stream video of her talking about like joking around with it. But I still think like obviously she was joking, but it comes to the point where it's like that might be interpreted kind of weird, because you are sending underwear to like a 13-year-old boy. So that's kind of weird.
That is pretty weird. But like as I was saying before, in like terms of apology videos, here's how I rank them. And you've never had to make one, have you?
I might make one as a joke and like say I have to apologize to my mom at the end of it. Like just like say all of this really vague stuff, and then at the end be like, okay, Mom, I hope you can forgive me. Like I didn't do the dishes or something. But maybe I'll get canceled for that.
You might get canceled. But no. So to make a perfect apology video, I think you need to own up to your mistake or defend yourself. Because like remember one beauty influencer, what's her name, who cried her eyes out? Laura Lee.
And she like spit up.
Yeah. She made an apology video. I forget what she even did. I
think she said like offensive stuff on Twitter like 10 years ago, and it resurfaced.
Right. Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. But like a lot of times people aren't remembered for the scandal itself, but for the apology video they make in response to it.
Because they become memes. Yeah. And like that's what's spread throughout the internet.
So in Laura Lee's apology video, she pretty much bawled her eyes out, and you could tell that she was fake crying. No one's gonna feel bad for you.
If you're fake, because it was so forced.
It was so forced.
Colleen didn't cry.
Like Star Wars who? Force Awakens.
May the Force be with you.
I want to ask you one question, and I'm sure everyone who's listening to this is dying to know the answer.
Well, I don't know CPR, so please don't die.
Okay. Or you don't know how to bleach, like dye your hair.
Oh, yeah.
But pretty much, I'm wondering.
Perfect. Okay.
Do you ever censor yourself for your YouTube channel? If not now, then when?
Why do you think I have to?
Maybe. I don't know.
I usually try. I mean, yeah. Everything. No, if you're an influencer, you have to kind of censor the way you present yourself online. Like obviously the way I am online, I would never like I am kind of similar in person. Not like my character, but the things that I say are stuff I've actually said, and that's why they're in my video, because we've thought of them. And so like all the jokes we do, I always double think, like, could this be taken out of context? And there's always a risk that it can be. Not like a risk, but like people can snip a joke and be like,
Risk.
it's such a good game.
Yeah.
But I don't think that like my type of comedy, it's mostly satire and like making fun. It's not like a stand-up comic like Chris D'Elia. He's straight up like making fun of people. We don't really make fun of people directly, and if we do, it's never something that is controversial. It's just making fun of like rich kids, which I think we all make fun of.
That's why you always use self-deprecating humor.
Yeah, I'm just
because you're a rich kid.
Yeah.
No, I remember one time you had like an arthritis joke.
We've said this like 4 times on this podcast.
Yeah, she had an arthritis joke and she took it out.
Yeah. There's some jokes I'm like, oh, I should take it out, even though I think it's hilarious and it's not like offensive, but I just don't want it to come back to me. And like Colleen's case in like 10 years where they're like, oh, you said this thing, and I'm like, oh shoot. But like it was okay to say in that time, but then it just became a little bit like more controversial in like later years. But there's always stuff that comes out with people that are in the spotlight of stuff they've done in the past. And I think, like, obviously addressing it and being genuine and, like, owning up to what you did is, like, the way to, like, to go about it. Because if you make excuses, no one's going to, like, want to listen to you.
You're so smart.
Thank you. I didn't mean to, like, get too smart for you guys. Like, next episode, I'll definitely dumb it down.
What's your IQ?
I think it's, like, my mom said it was, like, a 46 or something.
Wow, Caroline, that's so good.
Is that good?
So good. Can we talk about this one thing really quick?
Okay.
Caroline pretty much can't graduate next year. Caroline didn't know you had to sign up for specific classes for her major. So she signed up for all these fun classes. Can you tell them what some of those classes were?
Dude, I can read it off my report card right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like making noise. Where's my phone? Oh, it's right up here. I will read you my report card. I have a 4.0 GPA.
Yeah, while she's picking that up, pretty much Caroline signed up for all these fun classes to keep her GPA up, but she didn't realize, because she's never met with her advisor.
Guidance counselor.
Yeah, guidance counselor.
Oh, it actually is called advisor.
She's never met with them, so she didn't realize that she had to take specific classes for her major.
Yeah.
So now you have to graduate, what, in the year 2025?
Yeah, probably. And honestly, it's just money coming out of my trust fund because my parents are paying for school through the money that they're going to give me. So it's like not even a big deal because I feel like I did learn a lot from these classes. So the first one, Magic 101, casting spells. I learned a lot from that.
Like what? What's your favorite spell? Wait, DOG, that's how you spell dog?
I hate you. I was about to say, I was like, what? I like didn't comprehend that joke. Alakazam. That's like one of the spells no one knows about. And what it does is it makes things appear.
Okay, cool.
So, home ec 4750, dishwashing and other womanly duties. I learned how to wash dishes because I was never taught as a kid because we obviously had a maid. And then my professor, on his comments, he just basically told me not to have kids.
So did you fail?
Yeah. No, I got an A, but he just said that, like, I shouldn't have kids because I wouldn't be able to, like, take care of them and still perform my womanly duties in the house.
Right. Clearly.
Economics 4830, economics of sports. I just think because I am so good at like sports and horses, like horse riding, horse racing, that I wanted to learn a little bit more about it and the economics behind it. So that's why I might do my final project in that class on the Indy 500 and the horse races there.
Yeah,
because
that'd be cool.
With a small audience, I don't know how they would make money. Does that make sense?
That sounds like a pretty serious class, though.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
That's, once again, I pretend to be dumb, but I'm really smart. History 2760, Daughters of the American Revolution. Oh, Resolution. Wait.
Revolution?
Revolution.
That's
yeah.
that. Okay.
I hate that.
So
I hated that class.
Yeah, to be in that class, don't you have to genetically test to be one of the Daughters of the American Revolution?
Yeah, and
like,
I
you have to
wasn't.
link to, like...
You have to take an ancestry DNA test, and if you're not a daughter of the American Revolution, then you can't take the class. So
You have to be related to, like, Betsy Ross or something.
Who is that?
Isn't she the... Wait, isn't Betsy Ross the one who sewed the flag?
Oh, I guess.
Or Betty White. I forget
No.
her name.
Oh, she could have. She's so old at this point.
I know.
Yeah, so I failed that class because I lied to get into it because I thought it would be cool to learn. I like to learn from people that are so much different than me. So I said that I was a daughter of the American Revolution, but I'm not. Psychology 1290. I studied zodiac signs, obviously. A lot of people think I'm a Leo or a Capricorn or a Cancer. I don't know why you guys would think I'm a tumor. So, is that rude? Too far? Am I going to get canceled?
I don't know. You might get canceled for that joke.
God.
But I will say you are a
A
Mataurus.
leech. I'm a leech.
Mataurus.
Oh.
A leech. No, I don't know why you said you couldn't read sign language before if you know zodiac signs. Isn't that the same,
That's
the same
different.
thing?
Sign language, zodiac signs. What is a zodiac sign? What is that in sign language? Like,
Well, it's a sign, isn't it? Shouldn't you
Taurus.
be able to
Oh,
read it?
Taurus. Like this, right? That's a different class. Maybe I'll actually take sign language next semester.
You should try it.
Wizardry 1101, The Science of Harry Potter. I read the first chapter of Harry Potter and then I dropped the class. But I didn't even read it. I read it when I was in 5th grade and then I took the exam and I failed. I was just going off of memory because I have a good one. Antiques 1380, How to Tell a Real One.
How do you tell one? A real one?
I paid someone to do my homework for that class, so I can't tell you. Sculpting 3760. That was my candle making class. And then my teacher basically said that I tried to use candle wax to wax my legs. In my defense, we had to do a final project and it was kind of like up to interpretation. It was an interpretive sculpting project. And he said if we wanted to do it live in front of the class, we could do it. And I said, why would I try to make a candle live in front of the class? Everyone's going to try to do that. So I decided just to take the candle wax, pour it all over my legs and try to rip it off.
Did it work?
No. I just burned myself and I had to go to the hospital and it was a whole lawsuit. But I have one of those that's blue. I love my lawsuit.
In your closet?
Yeah, it's hanging up there. I just got it dry cleaned. So yeah, he said I shouldn't do that, but you have to clarify. You have to specifically tell me that I cannot do something. You can't just be vague like that. I feel like I may have confused people a little bit.
I mean, I think you confuse them because your opinion. They're not.
You can keep it.
Yeah, you
know
can
that
keep it.
phrase?
They're not used to you having
Opinions,
which is probably a good thing. Because
I'm a
most of
woman.
most of them are wrong.
Well, when people leave mean comments on my videos, I literally just say, that's just your wrong opinion. Some
Right.
opinions are better than others.
Well, my problem is, it's not with mean comments. It's with median and mode comments.
Dude, when people
Yeah.
literally leave median comments, I'm like, just stay in the right or the left lane. Stop driving right in the middle.
I know. People are like mean, median, or mode. I'm like, why can't you just be
What
nice?
mode? X Games mode?
I know.
He on X Games mode.
Stop. Like mean, median, or mode. Don't do any of them. Just be nice.
Yeah.
So, or just be polite.
Yeah. Or do like algebra or something. Like no
Yeah.
one ever uses mean, median, or mode in real life. But yeah, I think that's it. My leg's getting numb.
True.
So are you?
Or
Do you have
set
anything
up.
else to say?
Should I lead them in prayer? I don't really know what I'm supposed to do.
Well, yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, I think that's it for today's episode. Thank you, Zayden, for calling in. If you guys want to leave a voicemail, go ahead and do that. Our Instagram is Don't Be Ugly Podcast.
DM our podcast with
Yeah.
your voicemail.
And
or
also-
voice female.
Also, yes, voice female. And also, make sure you leave, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and turn on your notification. And also, rate us and leave a comment, leave some feedback on iTunes. But please don't, leave constructive criticism because I can't take it, so.
Constructive criticism's the time that you should take.
But
It's constructive, like a company.
Oh, Dad owns one of those.
Construction, yeah.
Anyways, see you guys next podcast. Mwah!
Bye.